that Meghan Markle went under the knife before her Paris disaster trip designed to traumatize Prince Harry with that journey through Paris, emulating that of
some sort of nose job or plastic surgery? That is a question I have been asking myself after people started to point out that, hey, her nose looks a bit different in her birthday picture. And
of course, I'm no expert on this, but when you look at the before and after images, it starts to become...
Meghan's beauty secrets were meant to freeze time, her face, her fame, her flawless image. But the moment those unfiltered photos slipped into the light, everything collapsed like glass under pressure. The illusion she'd spent years perfecting, gone in an instant. The world didn't see the radiant Duchess anymore. They saw the exhaustion she'd buried beneath layers of perfection. The once-envied icon now looked like the before shot in her own fairy tale, the sparkle dimmed, the skin tight but tired. It wasn't royal glow, it was the weight of upkeep, painted over with luxury. And when the internet caught sight of it, the reaction was explosive. Comment sections turned into war zones, headlines screamed betrayal, and hashtags spread faster than truth. The cameras that once adored her now felt like interrogators, flashing judgment instead of praise. Every blink, every pixel became proof that the magic had cracked. For Meghan, this wasn't just a bad photo moment. This was the start of a public unraveling, the kind that no filter, no crown, and no PR miracle could hide.
App where I create my thumbnails that allows me to put images side by side, which I have noticed somebody already stole and posted somewhere else. But anyways, I'm going to show it to you guys. And this little bit here has...
Paris was supposed to be Meghan Markle's rebirth, her dazzling re-entry into the spotlight, the night she'd remind the world she still reigned over style itself. Cameras lined the runway, anticipation electric in the air. She believed walking into that Balenciaga show would be her royal resurrection, her I never lost it moment. But the fairy tale cracked the second she appeared. Gasps replaced applause. Her new face didn't shimmer, it startled. The woman once called a vision now looked eerily sculpted, her expressions frozen like porcelain caught in too much light. Each click of a camera sounded more like a question than admiration. Whispers spread like wildfire through the crowd. "What happened to her?" murmured one voice. "She doesn't even look like herself," echoed another. Her signature glow, the effortless charm that once hypnotized the lens, was gone. What remained was perfection pressed too far, elegance strangled by expectation. That night in Paris was meant to be her triumph. Instead, it became her undoing, an image so polished it cracked, exposing the impossible pressure that came with being Meghan Markle, a woman the world refused to let age, falter, or simply be human.
At the Balenciaga show, so I took a closer look. Looking at her appearance from 5 years ago when she was 30.
It began like a whisper, one photo, then another. No filters, no edits, no glossy finish, just unforgiving reality staring straight into the lens. And that was all it took to burn the internet to ashes. The digital kingdom Meghan had built, polished, perfect, untouchable, collapsed in seconds once the raw truth bled through those once flattering lights. In the glow of authenticity, her perfection didn't just fade, it shattered. Every pixel told a different story, one she couldn't script or spin. The woman who had mastered the art of control suddenly had none. The curtain dropped, and behind it wasn't the poised Hollywood Duchess the world worshipped. It was a frightened human being watching her own myth disintegrate. Her empire of beauty and belief trembled in public view. What had begun as an innocent leak became a revelation. Meghan Markle was no longer controlling the narrative. The narrative was consuming her.
There is a notable shift in how more youthful her face looks, and it looks significantly more defined and lifted. While weight loss can enhance facial...
The photos were brutal, no mercy, no grace, just raw exposure. Her once smooth complexion now showed uneven tones, her jawline sliced too sharply against the light, and her cheeks, sunken, hollow, spoke louder than any headline. She didn't look like royalty anymore. She didn't even look like fame itself. She looked like someone running from time and losing the race. That easy, radiant beauty that once owned red carpets had vanished, replaced by a face sculpted not by genetics or glow, but by fear of fading, of being forgotten. Every smile looked heavy, like it had to be forced into place. Every pose carried the weight of desperation disguised as confidence. It was painful to watch because behind the glam and the gloss, you could see it, the quiet panic of a woman realizing that perfection comes with an expiration date.
I think she's had an upper and lower blepharoplasty and a face and neck lift. The upper eyelids are more.
The leaked photos didn't just reveal imperfections, they revealed an addiction. The kind that festers when you're terrified of becoming invisible. For years, Meghan had ruled her reflection like a queen, every post choreographed, every public step rehearsed, every angle engineered for worship. But no one escapes truth forever. When those unfiltered shots hit the internet, her empire of illusion cracked wide open. The flawless goddess vanished, and in her place stood something painfully human, a woman trembling beneath the weight of her own image. It wasn't vanity anymore, it was survival. The fight against time. The dread of fading from the feed. The desperate plea to remain unforgettable in a world that forgets fast. In that moment, Meghan wasn't the Duchess, the star, or the icon. She was a mirror reflecting the fear every fallen idol hides behind a perfect smile.
And the earlobe position has changed in position and also how it attaches to the face. You can clearly see she takes great care of her skin and non-surgical modalities.
It didn't take long for the experts to swarm. Plastic surgeons from both coasts, London to Los Angeles, couldn't stay silent. Meghan's face didn't look rejuvenated. It looked redesigned. The symmetry too precise, the skin too smooth, the proportions eerily mathematical, as if beauty itself had been rebuilt in a lab. Screenshots filled timelines. Fans became detectives, dissecting every frame, zooming in until pixels turned into proof. Threads exploded with side-by-sides, timelines, and theories. Every new photo was a clue, every angle a revelation. The whispers turned into a digital investigation. What did she tweak? What did she touch? What did she trade to stay timeless? The mystery wasn't just about her face anymore. It was about how far she'd gone to protect the illusion of perfection.
Enhancing the overall look.
Okay, so he's very clear. So too is Dr.
In London, the speculation turned surgical. One renowned cosmetic expert refused to sugarcoat his verdict. After dissecting her photos frame by frame, he pointed to the telltale signs, the lifted eyes that didn't blink the same, the unnaturally taut jawline, and that smooth, stretched neck that defied age itself. Subtle? Maybe. Natural? Not a chance. His conclusion was blunt. This isn't skincare, this is intervention. The quote detonated online. Within hours, Meghan's new look wasn't being praised, it was being investigated. Every forum, every feed, every gossip blog turned into a forensic crime scene. People weren't admiring her beauty anymore. They were hunting for the truth behind it. What began as curiosity became obsession, a full-blown mystery surrounding the face the world thought it knew.
Look.
Okay, so he's very clear. So too is Dr. Jennifer Armstrong.
Across the ocean, California's elite cosmetic surgeons echoed the same chilling verdict. Meghan's transformation, they said, wasn't nature's evolution, it was strategy. Every contour, every curve looked planned, mapped, and executed like a high-stakes operation. The refined nose, the subtly lifted lips, the perfectly sculpted almond eyes, none of it whispered genetics. It roared design. This wasn't aging with grace. It was rebranding through reconstruction, a deliberate reinvention carved by scalpel and secrecy. Behind the illusion of effortless beauty lay a blueprint, a face engineered for relevance, calibrated for cameras, and polished for survival in a world that punishes imperfection. In Hollywood, they called it maintenance. But to the rest of the world, it looked like something far darker, the price of chasing immortality.
Her eyes look more open here, and they look more like almond shape or like squinty in the after picture. And I believe
experts went forensic, zooming into details invisible to the untrained eye. The earlobes, just slightly misplaced, betrayed the faint scars of a facelift. The space between her nose and lip, shorter and rigid, whispered of a lift carefully hidden in plain sight. This wasn't a quick fix. It was a master plan, unfolding in phases, reshaping not just a face, but an entire identity. Each adjustment told a story of obsession. The angles sharper, the eyes narrower, the expressions less human, more sculpted. And yet, the cruel irony? The proof had been right there all along. Those unfiltered Paris photos became her downfall. Every flash, every candid frame ripped away the filters that once guarded her image. For years, Meghan curated perfection pixel by pixel, but the experts exposed what she couldn't retouch, a woman rebuilt by fear, chasing youth not through grace, but through correction. The backlash was merciless. Comments flooded in. This isn't Meghan anymore. She lost herself trying to be flawless. And maybe they were right. This wasn't overnight vanity, it was a slow metamorphosis, each tweak a reflection of rising ambition. Meghan's face evolved like chapters of her career, the hopeful actress, the regal duchess, the polished mogul. The Paris reveal wasn't random, it was simply the climax of a transformation that had been unfolding in plain sight. Rewind to her 20s, soft cheeks, warm freckles, a glow that felt real. She was human then, untouched and radiant. But as fame tightened its grip, that softness faded. By her Suits era, the changes became impossible to ignore. The nose refined, the chin sharpened, the smile perfected. It wasn't scandalous yet, but it was the beginning of a story that would one day make the world question what was left of the woman beneath the mirror. Once you start noticing, you can't unsee it. The tiny shifts, the quiet alterations, every little change building towards something bigger. Behind closed doors, Hollywood insiders whispered what tabloids were too cautious to print. A little filler here, a quick tweak there. Harmless at first, maintenance, they called it. But with Meghan, it became momentum. When she crossed from Hollywood glamour to royal prestige, the metamorphosis didn't pause, it accelerated. Gone was the California sparkle, replaced by a sculpted Duchess aesthetic, polished, minimalist, and eerily perfect. It wasn't just her wardrobe that evolved, her very identity was rewritten. Even her skin seemed to change tone. The freckles that once made her glow vanished beneath layers of perfection. Each stage of her career unveiled a new version of her, a new mask for a new audience. This wasn't evolution, it was engineering. Meghan Markle had turned herself into her own brand campaign, every relaunch tighter, glossier, and further from the woman she once was. But her latest transformation carried something different, not confidence, but urgency. Her reflection didn't say power, it whispered panic. The empire she'd so carefully crafted was trembling. Her comeback projects, the podcast gone silent, the Netflix buzz fading, the Hollywood doors quietly closing, all painted a picture of momentum slipping through her fingers. And when relevance started to fade, she did what she always did. She reinvented. Paris became her stage, high fashion her battlefield. But what was meant to be her rebirth turned into public dissection. Her entrance didn't spark admiration, it stirred discomfort. Instead of awe, there was pity. Behind those designer sunglasses, insiders said, she cried. Her team scrambled, her confidence shattered. For someone who built an empire on control, losing the narrative was her deepest nightmare. Every headline grew crueler. Every meme hit harder. Plastic surgeons began treating her downfall like a televised autopsy of fame. One expert even described her look as desperation disguised as confidence. The too smooth skin, the sharpened jawline, the hollow eyes, none of it said elegance. It said exhaustion. People weren't seeing a fashion icon anymore. They were seeing a woman fighting not for beauty, but for survival. Every tweak, every filler, every angle screamed the same truth. She wasn't improving herself. She was erasing herself. What was supposed to be her dazzling comeback became a visual cautionary tale, the tragic unraveling of a woman who once owned the spotlight, now blinded by its glare. Every new version of Meghan Markle tells the same haunting story, a woman chasing perfection while slowly disappearing in the reflection she can no longer recognize. She's become a woman constantly at war with her own reflection. Every time her career stumbles or her image falters, Meghan doesn't rebuild, she rebrands. It's not healing, it's editing. Her face has become a Photoshop project, her life a never-ending PR campaign. Experts now call it image addiction, the relentless urge to fix the mirror instead of the soul behind it. She doesn't evolve, she erases. Each adjustment chips away at the person she once was until the real Meghan becomes unrecognizable. And tragically, the world can finally see it. The woman once celebrated for breaking boundaries has turned into the very symbol of Hollywood's toxic chase for flawlessness. The irony cuts deep. You can tighten a jawline, but you can't tighten public opinion. You can lift a face, but not a reputation. Her reflection, once her armor, has become her enemy. Each new fix drags her further from the warmth people once admired. The more she tries to look authentic, the more artificial she becomes, a perfect paradox of insecurity disguised as confidence. Even her most loyal supporters are silent now. The Paris reveal was supposed to mark her comeback, but it confirmed the whispers. She'd gone too far. The glow was gone, replaced by a glassy stillness, a mask of exhaustion and denial. The woman who once radiated empowerment now looked detached, like a mannequin built to impersonate her past self. For someone who preached self-love, the contradiction is devastating. Her brand of authenticity turned into performance. Fans didn't turn on her because she aged, they turned because she refused to own it. That's when it hit everyone. Meghan's downfall wasn't just cosmetic. It was emotional. Her podcast gone. Her Netflix buzz fading. Hollywood indifferent. Finances reportedly shrinking. Watching it unfold felt like witnessing a slow eclipse, a star dimming in plain sight. And the saddest part? She could have owned her story. She could have aged with honesty and inspired millions. Instead, she chased an illusion of eternal perfection and lost herself somewhere along the way. Because you can lift your face, reshape your eyes, erase every line, but you can't edit your soul. Meghan Markle's greatest tragedy isn't what she's done to her appearance. It's what she's done to her humanity.